Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, back for another 8-4 Avacyn Restored draft. Our rare is Captain of the Miss. There you do it, untap them, you can untap or tap target permanent. It's pretty good. However, we opened Druid's Familiar, so I'm going to slam this card because green is not only the color that I'd like to be in, but Druid's Familiar is probably one of the best green cards you can get. So happy to first pick that and get an awesome green pick. I mean, at this point, I would even splash for Druid's Familiar. This card is so powerful. Yep, no question there. Druid's Familiar it is. Followed by... Well, what are the best cards in this pack? The best cards are probably the Thatcher Revolt, because there's some good synergies with that in red and in white. There's also Stonewright, which has proven to be better than I initially gave it credit for. Shieldmate's good with a lot of different things, particularly Latch Seeker. Scrapskin Drake's fine. Black cards are fine. Defy Death is decent. Well, if I pick Thatcher Revolt, this card has the most synergies with other cards. Not necessarily in green, but does have a lot of synergies with things. And red-green is still very good. Would I rather just pick the Stonewright? I don't think so. I think I'd pick up a Thatcher Revolt just because so many potentially good synergies I can get out of that go a long way. Alright, so here I'm picking up the Riot Ringleader, which is just what I was talking about. A card that has good synergies with Thatcher Revolt. So I'm going to pick that over the Pathbreaker Worm. Barter in Blood and Demonic Taskmaster are both very good black cards, but we're going to pick Riot Ringleader. Be happy about that. Okay. Now we've got Wildwood Geist, Joint Assault, or Pathbreaker Worm. I believe that I like Pathbreaker Worm more than I like Wildwood Geist. And Joint Assault is fine too, but it's really Pathbreaker Worm or Wildwood Geist. I think Pathbreaker Worm is better. Trample is super relevant. So, especially when you have a lot of blink effects, Trample becomes infinitely more powerful. So here, pretty clearly taking the Stonewright over the Vigilante. This is worlds better. Okay, sounds reasonable to me. Alright, here we go. So we're going to take the Vigilante Justice, which, once again, awesome synergy with our Thatcher Revolt. So, happy to pick that. Force Claw is fine as a finisher. Sheltering Word is a good trick. Vigilante Justice, just good. Okay, so where are we at now? Anything on color? No. Best card in the pack, probably a Smuggler. It's got a lot of good synergies. And followed by the Holy... I always want to call this Just a Car, but it's spelled like Char. Just a Char. So, I don't know if that was like a typo or if I just don't know what a Just a Char is. I mean, it's probably more likely that I would be in white, so I would pick the Holy Just a Car. Yeah, I think that makes sense. They're both humans, though. Actually, I think I'm going to go with Smuggler. Only because bouncing a human to get another thing out of that could actually be worth it. I'm not sure. Probably wouldn't splash for it, so it doesn't really matter. Guess we'll take the Vigilante. Has better synergies with the Ringleader. Am I going to play Raging Poltergeist? Probably not. But then again, it's probably just the best card in this pack since it's on color and we'll cut red. Sounds reasonable to me. Defy Death really shouldn't be going this late, but I am going to take the Diagraph Escort because I want to cut green. I mean, at this point I'm positive 100% that we're getting cut on green, but if you enter an Avacyn Restored draft, you're getting cut in green, is what it boils down to. Alright, we'll take the Malicious Intent. And more likely to play Aggravate, and Aggravate's going to ultimately be better against us as well. Cut some more green here. That's an awful card, but I'm going to cut green. I should have actually left the Predator's Gambit, let someone take it. I mean, I don't want to go up against it, but I'd rather have someone dive into black anyway. Alright, so have a bunch of red cards, and we've got some powerful green cards. So, I'm going to force green, not afraid to. At the very least, I'm going to be splashing for this Druid's Familiar. Okay, so we open Dark Imposter, which is a magnificently powerful black card. However, we have 0 black picks, so I'm not super motivated to get that. I believe we just pick up another Vigilante Justice and probably get some more humans. And then we'll be all good. Some more Thatcher Revolts, some more Riot Ringleaders, stuff like that. Sounds good to me. Third Vigilante Justice. Well, now I don't quite have enough humans. I mean, this is good, especially in multiples. Start lightning bolting people with it. It's not a horrible idea to pick it up here. I would really like this Timberland Guide, though, since I'm not planning on main decking that, so... And I'd like to not have to play as Escort, and I would also like to not have to play as Vigilante. I mean, I will play them if I'm low on playables, but right now I'm just trying to find... I don't even have that many playables. This is sort of sad. Which inclines me to want to pick up this Timberland Guide, since it's both human, cheap, reasonable beater. Vigilante Justice is going to be very strong, especially in multiples, but don't have a ton of humans right now. But, God, if I just really keep my eye out for some Thatcher Revolts, I can get some insane value out of these Justice, especially in multiples. Oh, it's tough. This is uncommon. I think I got it with the Timberland Guide. I need some 2-drop humans, and just afraid I'm not going to see them. Ooh, well, we did get another Thatcher Revolt, which I'm certainly picking here at this point. I mean, maybe the Vigilante Justice is the right pick. I just didn't want to end up with nothing on my low end. Near Heath Pilgrim is very good for white. Treacherous Pit Dweller, not so good, but decent. I'm going to take the Trident since we can actually play it, and it's actually proven to be a pretty decent card. Alright, well now I very much wish I had taken that third Vigilante Justice, because I'm going to be slamming this third Thatcher Revolt here. I was just worried I wasn't going to get any early creatures, you know? I believe we're just going to be taking the natural end for the sideboard. Passing another near Heath Pilgrim, which sucks, but sometimes you gotta do it. Alright, this card is very strong, but we're going to play the Vorse Claw, which is actually on color and still pretty good. Yeah, I guess we'll take the Abundant Growth. This would allow us to do a splash if we need to. Okay, none of this is super good. Suppose we'll take the Defang, I suppose, for the sideboard. Or possibly splash with Abundant Growth. Not super likely, but keeping our options open here. None of these are super interesting and good, so I suppose I'll take the rare. I don't really have any cards. Well, it's if your opponents target them too, which is kind of cool, but don't know. This is a little bit expensive. Can be pretty good. I guess I'll take the rare. It's possible that I could play it if I picked up enough joint assaults and other stuff. None of this is very good, but I'll pick that since we got the Wild Defiance, I guess. Neither of these are very good. I suppose we'll take the Angel's Mercy, since we do have a little bit of a human theme going on. Alright, well, I should have picked the Vigilante Justice. It just felt weird picking 3 Vigilante Justice with such a low human count, but now that we have 3 Thatcher Revolt, 3 Vigilante Justice would have been quite good. Alright, well, here we're definitely slamming the Kessig Malcontents. This would be an amazing sealed pool, by the way. We're definitely slamming the Malcontents over the Wandering Wolf, just because when you have triple Thatcher Revolt, you should play cards like Malcontents. It can do silly things. Yeah, this would be a ridiculous blue sealed double rare, both of which are pretty good. And then the Smuggler, too. Alright, Malcontents, you're good. Let me hide this natural end. Ooh, if I had a way to make this Cathar's Crusade work, probably would. I believe we're going to be taking the Pillar of Flame, just because I think we have 0 pieces of removal right now, but this Lancer is pretty good with our double Vigilante Justice. Let's hide stuff that I would prefer not to play. I mean, ultimately, I'd prefer not to play that as well. We're on our 3rd pack, and I only have like 14 playables. It's pretty bad. Alright, we're going to take the Pillar of Flame. We don't really have much early game from what I see. On color stuff. Ooh, I think we're taking the Wandering Wolf. Sounds right. Pretty good with Tormentor's Trident, I would say. That's a good synergy. We've passed about 1,000 of these, which sucks, but sometimes you have to pass 1,000 of a good card when you're not in that color. Yeah, we're going to take it over the Borderland Ranger. And yet another one. So let's just give as many of those to our opponents as we possibly can. Definitely taking the Haven Gull Vampire. This card's very strong, especially when you have the Justice, so you can be pinging their guys away and making him bigger. I like it more than the U-Spirit and the Fervent Cathar. So Haven Gull Vampire is. Alright, well, I think I'll take the Bone Splinters because I can actually splash that with our Abundant Growth, and it is a straight-up removal spell. So, although we're pretty low on creatures, aren't we? But we've got the Thatcher Revolts, which is pretty good with the Bone Splinters, I would say. Just not super interested in the Vigilante. I don't think he's very good. Alright, we'll take the Bone Splinters. And just nothing on color really that good for us. Sheltering Word, but we don't have a ton of creatures to protect. Aggravate, once again, still going to be pretty good against us, but don't really have much else going on, so I guess we'll take the Sheltering Word. I guess at this point we're playing cheap bad humans, because don't think we have enough creatures. Yeah, I suppose we could play that too. Not very good, but this looks like a deck where we're going to need it. Yeah, it looks like we're probably going to play a super cheap human deck that's playing some bad cards, just so we can get in there. This card's actually pretty decent, so I'm not afraid to take that one. I guess we're most worried about that. And a bunch of good white cards. I mean, not good, but a bunch of white cards. We're just past here towards the end. Alright, so how did we end up? Not exactly where I wanted to be, but can't always be exactly where you want to be. So what is my plan exactly with this deck? Pretty low on creature, trying to play it like a combo deck. Haven Gull Vampire is pretty ridiculous with the Thatcher Revolt, so that's good. I mean, we have some good synergies in here, so let me look this deck over and I'll see what I can do with this. Alright, I built this. Overall, the power level of this deck is pretty mediocre, not very good. We do have the triple Thatcher Revolt, which works well with our Riot Ringleader, works well with our Malcontents, works well with our double Vigilante Justice, works well with our Vampire, and works decently with this horrible card that I'm playing called Banners Raised. So this deck, power level wise, definitely low because we're playing cards like Summerwell, Vigilante, and Banners Raised. But what does this deck have going for it? It's got some decent synergies. I do like all those synergies I just named. Druid's Familiar is insanely strong. Pathbreaker Worm and Vorse Claw are reasonable finishers, especially when you soulbound them together. Tormentor's Trident is actually a decent card as well. We're going to be splashing for the Defangs, which is something I'm not exactly thrilled about, but we do have the Abundant Growth, and I'm only going to do one Plains because we have the Abundant Growth, so I figure 2 white sources for 2 white cards is probably going to be fine. Is this deck a beatdown deck, or is this deck sort of a weight back? I think it's... How is this deck going to work? It's going to be like, play some early threats and make them develop their board, and then once we get a Vigilante Justice online, we can start pounding out these Thatcher Revolts and really, hopefully taking over the game from there. See if that works out or not. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say about this deck. It's not exactly where I wanted to be. I was hoping to pick up some more green, but remember, when you enter these Avacyn Restored drafts, you're always going to be battling for green. If green is open, then I think you're playing with people that don't understand what the most powerful color in this format is. Yeah, I guess I don't know what else to really say about this, so we'll try this deck out and hopefully do something with it.